Greetings. All right. This is as you tell, I'm not my normal tomorrow will be. Not that I'm gonna be putting up a video. Or you never know. All right, so there's that panic going on in the world. Yeah. So yeah, I'm in Orlando. Apparently Disney's gonna shut down, so I got some. You wouldn't know there was a pandemic going on right now, but they're gonna be shut down tomorrow. So I got some. I have to admit, you would not know. There's some things that are changed, different a little bit. The crowds are a little bit smaller in some places, but I don't know. You would not know there was a problem. So, but yeah, there are hot spots for it, and this thing will. Yeah, I feel like this thing will kind of calm down in 2 weeks, maybe sooner. Yeah, I would expect some kind of. Who knows? I guess the Queen stepped down or went somewhere else, I guess. So yeah, maybe she can hang out with the Pope, and maybe she'll go to Italy, and Pope and her can hang out until this thing blows over. That would be nice. So yeah, all these that shows that these people in power, yeah, they're not invincible. So we're just getting started on that. Yeah, so this thing's going to go on for obviously a while, but the panic, there's no reason for it. I mean, yeah, there's hot spots. Be careful, of course. But yeah, this should be taken seriously. But yeah, especially when a place like Disney is gonna, yeah, finally have it, finally have a wake up call. So, yeah, so of course there's people there. I mean, yeah, change is on its way, definitely, but not for everybody. But yeah, it's. I feel like 2 weeks of mayhem of some kind. That doesn't mean it has to be. There's going to be some stuff going on. That's for sure. Let's put it that way. It's not going to be the end of the world. It's not going to be. I don't think a Great Depression. The stock market was really high, and you'd be surprised. Stock market would probably be highest it ever been, or something like that. It's like just, except for some companies that are going under, like Disney. But this isn't. Yeah, it's good to be prepared. But other than that, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be. I don't know if I'm gonna be coming out to Orlando again for a while. We'll see how things go. I'm kind of just playing this out, play by ear. So I already had this plan. I'm out here. So, and it just happened to be on the same weekend when Disney shut itself down. And I did say something was going to happen around the 15th, which I'm doing, my anniversary, and all this shit kind of broke down before that. But it's kind of weird. I didn't know what was going to occur, but I figured something was going to happen. But I wasn't 100% sure, of course. And now the country's not shut down, but for some people it feels that way. So that's kind of interesting. So, yeah. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, I had something to do with it. I have no idea. So, all right. On to other things. See if I can get this thing to work again. Probably not. So I'm gonna make sure I do this right. Probably not do it right. Right now, it looks like it's working. Is my guess? Maybe not. All right. This is ivantoa.com. All right, private sessions. You dare. Throw out the wide open. When I had a channel, Google Hangouts, something like that. Google Hangouts, Zoom and channel by phone. The shop here. I think I'm still on the 1st. I think I might be on March 3rd. I'm doing what I can yet. Hopefully I can catch up tomorrow. Same situation here. Their channels and heroes I do recommend. Social network and awesomeness. Okay, and then I'll go back here. This is where I messed up last time. This thing is not very user friendly, but we'll do what we can. I have no idea what it's showing right now. we're going to assume you see the Defense Intelligence Agency. So last time I channeled the Pentagon, and now I'm going to channel these guys. This energies I'm getting from it, I don't know where this is going to go. They're a group of spies themselves, I guess. I guess they do data collecting, of course, but I think there's some spy situations going on there. So, yeah, it has Illuminati ties all through it. So, yeah, we just do what we can with this. Obviously, the aliens are assisting us. Obviously, they're not going to be showing up anytime soon. I mean, people can't handle this. I mean, they can't handle this. And so, I mean, I wasn't going to offer, the government's going to offer all this free therapy for people if aliens do show up. Just massive, mental therapy for the rest of your life. So you have a bird-like humanoid bird being walking around, or a Zeta being, and that will happen. Well, they will show up eventually, but in this life, who the hell knows? In this timeline, it's hard to say. Their presence is going to get stronger here, but we can't guarantee anything because humanity's still, and those that are obsessed over it realize that's a test in itself. So, but yeah, I mean, obviously with this situation, they're kind of stepping back. I mean, there is alien involvement, definitely. Is this an alien virus? I would say yes. I mean, I would say everything is alien related. We're all aliens anyway, right? So, I mean, I know it's human, but everything is pretty much alien influence in some shape or form. Television shows, etc. is. So yeah, there is. It feels like it's a bioweapon, and of all the diseases I've been going through, we haven't had this happen. So, but yeah, all these people are in power. They know this thing is going to still be out there. So, it's not going away. And those that are hiding out in the woods and everything, they're going to be fine. Are terrified to come up with all these crazy conspiracy theories. It's just, and people love that stuff. It's freaking hilarious. Oh well, I guess we're in the baby boom. I guess again. I guess that's a good thing. Shit. I guess. So either way, well, yeah. I mean, new energies are coming through, but let's see here. All right, bring angelic energies in. Maybe alien energies. We'll see how things go. Can't guarantee anything. Defense Department, I'm definitely connected to them. Along with all of this, but we'll do an angelic energy first, and then just let things kind of rattle along, or however you word that. So yeah, no reason for panic. Just be prepared. Everything's going to get. Life's going to get better. It's like the most boring catastrophe ever. Yeah, the mind can be an unfriendly place. It's amazing what the mind is creating for some people. A bio with me, like, see is going to blow up or something, or whatever the hell it is. Amazing. It's just absolutely amazing. Who needs TV when you have insanity? So, all right. Lessons. Greetings, we are the Zetas. We are not L3 Zeta beings, but we are involved with your transformation. We're not interfering, but we are helping you finding yourselves. We see many scenarios before you do. At least in this reality, we do work with your astral selves, and we do assist with your soul growth. Yes, we realize many aren't comfortable with our presence, but that is another form of healing, as we are a mirror of your vibrations. We are similar to you more than you might realize. We're a fourth dimensional version of you. We might not have the emotions as you do, but we have a great deal of knowledge ingrained in our DNA, our biology. We are built to assist your society. And we realize many go into a panic, but it's all part of growth too. Many are going to lose their minds and realize there's nothing to be afraid of. That is a major soul growth. And if they continue to not panic and just be calm, they're warning about themselves. And there's much more to learn. Times of crisis is, yes, a time of timeline innovation. Realize there's no earth changes occurring just yet, as many would go through the same situation if there's a giant earth change, as you call your pole shifts, which is not going to happen anytime soon. You're still, yes, and some are connecting to their imaginations of calamity. Some of them are causing them in other realities. Some of it's harder to experience it. Some are, yes, on other versions of Earth, causing a lot of destruction and enjoying every minute of it. But when you're living it, when there's no destruction, but your mind is, it's actually healing a lot of darkness among many too. It's just a lot of souls that are still in maturity process, learning about themselves, kind of have to get that adolescence out of their systems. Conspiracies is part of adolescence. It's about growing up. It is a level of consciousness, but there's much more. Yes, you're connected to multiple versions of Earth, and the conspiracy worlds are a lot more they're a lot more interesting than this reality. So it is a world, and then many of them will make great writers, great artists, and they don't even know it. They don't realize it. They create realities in their mind. It's just some of us, we're just amazed at the realities they create. The worlds that they are known to be connected to are just unbelievable compared to this one. Yes, we're a world where one thing after another is occurring. Yes, conspiracy after conspiracy after conspiracy, and they're just loving every minute. It's more interesting, but they get to see it, they get to live it. Yes, like a president, taking their face off and ends up being somebody else. Just something you would see on a television, but they're living it. Come and find out your president was a clone the whole time, and it ends up being someone totally opposite of who you thought the president was altogether, just for example. So yes, it is a fascinating growth you have here on your planet. You're wondering more about yourselves, and you're wondering identifies like, why am I coming up with all this stuff and none of it's ever happening? But who am I then? Many of you are connected to Arcturian worlds that are very versions of Earth, Arcturian versions of Earth, where yes, this happens, that happens. It's constantly a movie, basically. So this world, all of you are your own little libraries, as you know. Well, as you really don't know, you're all libraries of knowledge. And to experiment, to know each other, to actually dive into your consciousness and what kind of world is in your mind for all of you to see it. Not the personal information, but just your belief systems and what you're connected to. As many of you find interest in a lot of this, those that are laying down and doing their past life regression, many are very fascinated by that. That's one level. There's so much more you can see. It's almost like plugging, we don't want to say it like this, but it's like projecting your reality, your fantasies on a television, let other people seeing it. Not to go into your personal, but just things that you like other people to see are connected to. All the worlds, all the aliens, all the different versions of Earth, and on and on and on. This is a world of the unknown that you're starting to get used to. As this world is there for you to look at yourselves differently. Is to study, not necessarily study each other, but yes, it can be studied. It's like even in schools, you can be, the test subject could be one of your students. Every week you learn about that student. Not, like I said, their personal lives, but whatever they want to. But, the world's realities they're connected to will make school a lot more interesting. And then some of you can relate to it, and you can go on and build upon it, and there you have your fourth dimension reality that you're all looking for. And you're going into that direction right now. This is a hard time right now because none of this is taken that seriously. It's a hard time. Many of you can think of other lives, other things you'd rather be doing than talking about aliens, as some of you probably know who you are. Yes, the aliens might be fun, but it does become very hard because nothing's really happening in your reality, not in the physical. Yes, spiritually, it can get fun. Even that can get kind of, you miss home. You don't know what you're doing here. It can become, hell in some ways. But you have to find, and that's the test, to find ways to keep life more, keep it going. Realize some of you have information here for this earth that the earth isn't always ready for you just yet. And that's where and that's the other thing that's bothering you. You have something else, or there's something else going on, but it can't be accessed. Give it time. So this virus situation, it's time to know more about yourselves. Yes, there is events on its way, yes. The corrupt ones here, we can't go into details of it, but some of you already have an idea. Let it play out. That's why we're not mentioning anything about the queen or anybody. This is your world, let you decide what happens here. We are assisting you onto what had happened, what needs to occur. As yes, the blockages of your reality, the wall of third dimension is slowly coming down. And fourth dimension ideas, spiritual understandings, yes, you might not agree with everything. It's never intended for that. But knowing more about yourself is what matters most of this time. Greetings. We are DIA, Defense Intelligence Agency, consciousness. We are very much connected to the reptilian vibrations. We are connected to much, but it is a reptilian fleet that's here. We're not here to cause you harm. We're assisting you to know more about yourself. Yes, there is tall white, tall blonde energies connected to this agency also. It is, yes, many Illuminati beings use this agency to cause more harm on their world, but also as a positive to bring. There is a divide within the agency. There's positive and not so positive. And they're kind of fighting amongst themselves, as some of you probably don't hear it very often. It is, yes, a portal to another world, basically. Where your agencies are your alien entities. They might be in human form, but your government agencies are alien. For you to, this is why many of you aren't looking into it that much, diving into it. Some of you do, very few. Look at it from an alien perspective. Many of you that are spiritual and a fifth, sixth, higher dimension of vibration usually don't look at these agencies. Maybe that'll change. You might even learn something about yourself. And yes, it will test you, depending on where you look. It is a place of diversity. It is a place to keep your world in its place, to kind of keep it organized. All these agencies, even if it doesn't feel like it's organized, it kind of is, even if it doesn't seem that way. And your presidency is not that powerful. Notice your media gives all the attention to the presidency, but they're not the ones running everything. Of course not. That is for your media. It's your media, as you know, is putting all of your attention on the president and not talking about these other agencies. If they did, it's very minute. Very, it's not very much. Because if they did, they'd be fired. They're not going to go in those, and that's where your journalists should really go. Yes, it's not safe, and most likely no one would want them. Their bosses wouldn't want them to get involved. It's the agencies you don't see. CIA you see, DIA you don't normally see. Delta Force you don't see. It's the ones that you don't see, but they are public. Are the ones that are running your show. Just to give you an idea. But it's up to you. I mean, you can scan it with your energies. We don't recommend knocking on a door or anything. All remote viewing is done in these agencies. Of course, there are agencies that are very shadowy, and I already mentioned, but that it's still close enough. See, they realize most society isn't going to connect to them spiritually, intuitively. Of course not. But humans do it on movies, on pop culture things. They tap into things all the time. In scenarios, many are jumping timelines like crazy. But this epidemic, many are just jumping timelines of just craziness. Yes. Well, they go to a timeline that's more interesting. Whereas explosions and fights and fires, those are fun. This world doesn't have that, as you can see. It has it here and there, but not like it's not as exciting. It's a different reality. It's a different world altogether. Yes, your mass arrests, as I say, it's a different world altogether. There are many worlds there's mass arrests going, and some of those are talking about mass arrests. Other ones actually doing the mass arrests, but we're not pushing that out there. You're here to warn about yourselves on a level where it can't be really explained. Well, it is, but you're kind of discovering it. Discussions, talking about federal agencies spiritually, tapping into it, like the CIA, you tap into that. You meet in your group of friends, like I'm gonna just tap into it, see what I get, and then tell your friends. That's a psychic connection, and that's where you're all heading eventually. Your governments, your Pentagons, what do you see? You see reptilian beings there because they are there. There's also fish beings there. Most of you have not, you won't see in your reality, but they do exist. So there's a lot of alien beings that most of you have not fully, but yeah, Alpha Centauri beings are there. And a lot of them are fish-like. They're protecting your Earth. They don't want you to get too excited from who's really here, but a lot of alien vibrations are assisting your world to keep it, let you do as you need to do here. We're not here to orchestrate your future. You're doing that. We're just helping you stay together so they don't tear yourselves apart. Help you learn your lessons or helping you through your lives. That's what aliens do. They're not here to judge you. I mean, some do. Sometimes they get frustrated with you. But it's up to you to just make peace with yourself, make peace with your society. So many aliens or humans. Well, humans and aliens, a lot of these aliens have brought in a lot of your emotions. Even Zetas have a lot of your emotions. Even they say they don't. They don't orchestrate it the same way as you do, but they do copy you a lot. They've been around you so long, they copy quite a bit. As you copy each other. Yeah, your aliens are not that much different than you. They look different. They do act differently, but a lot of them do understand your society, but they also understand why they can't show themselves here too. Because if they're in your shoes, they would freak out too. So, but you are their project. And you're helping them more about themselves, complicate themselves, and test them. You are their school. You don't even realize it. You're testing the aliens on a daily basis. Yeah, some want to destroy each other differently. Not like you do. Well, in some ways. Yes, as a reptilian being, you can say I'm like wearing a suit with a tie. You can say I can shapeshift as a human. That's all I'm going to say with that. So it's up to you to, as more humanity becomes more peaceful. Yes, many are at a adolescent energy. Many, even those of the spiritual. Yes, they're getting used to all this. Those of the spiritual are more emotionally advanced in some ways. There's still a ways to go. Basically, they don't realize how mature they can become at the level of positivity they're at. They don't realize how much maturity they can bring. It's hard to do that when you're not tested a lot. When you're tested a lot, when you're in poverty a lot, that's why those of you in a spiritual development don't have always the financial means, because you're strengthening yourself, maturing yourselves. And it's hard. But there's other ways of maturing, that's war and or become a villain. You wonder how people grow. Yes, become the villain and cause trouble on everyone. They grow very fast, especially when they get thrown in jail. Then they grow up really fast. They mature faster too, especially when they get thrown in Rikers Island, things like that. And this is why, yeah, this is another form of growth. They say they don't grow, they're not learning. You'd be surprised. They're maturing their souls. They're showing their dark side. They're doing terrible things here, but they're maturing themselves too. We don't have to do that anymore. But some of them enjoy it. But it's another form of growth. Many of you don't want to go that route for your maturity. So you go different routes, and it's harder sometimes, slower. Yeah, because you can become the villain, and it does make it faster. Like the teacher, basically. And teachers are not usually loved by their students, correct? Or your connections with us. Obviously, we can't go into much detail of who we are, what we do. Realize we are watching. I don't know if people. This reminded me. I'm not sure if you're. I don't know how many people think like the ancient gods, which I never really thought about after yesterday, the day before. I think it was yesterday. Um, I didn't really look at it this way. That the ancient gods are much involved with creating our reality, for better or for worse. Building like the Anunnaki and all that. They're building up our reality, putting our systems in, and I believe I was one of them. And many others are out there too that they feel like they're involved with it too. And living, of course, it sucks. But you're here to take it down too. And just taking it down takes a while. So, um, what system I brought in, I have no idea. I don't know if I want to know. Eventually, I guess it'll come through. Basically, to keep us like building the school, the infrastructure, the university for us to grow. Because I guess, as you heard 100 times or more, as an Atlantean energy and wherever you were at a higher dimension, some were learning, but some weren't. Most weren't, and so they lost their power. And here we are. Of course, you can look at however you want. Does it matter? No, but however you want to look at the past or look at the present, it doesn't matter. Some people it's important. Some people it's important who they are. Like, what kind of entity am I? When am I? I mean, it does come to past life connections. Uh, Discovering your past lives help you identify who you are. You might not always like the answers when it comes to past life connections. Trust me. But they can already have an idea. I'll go into that some eventually. All right. All right. Hopefully this is helpful. Hopefully this is long enough. All right. Much love. I'll be back tomorrow with Take care.